I'm Suzanne from Well Mother, and today I'm going to show you how to work on the sacrum, and especially these 8 points on the sacrum, which are the 8 sacral foramen. And why would we want to work on the sacrum? And it is a particularly good position here for a pregnant woman, because she can take the weight of her baby off her sacrum, because of course the weight of the baby can compress here. Also because people spend a lot of time generally sitting on chairs, and then this whole area gets quite congested. And this can cause often lower backache or just congestion in the lower back. It is also linked a bit with the whole energy of the girdle vessel, which is the vessel of the pelvis. These actual points here are on the bladder meridian, but they're points on the bladder meridian that also relate to the gall bladder meridian, so it's an intersection of different energies, but also they relate to the jing, or the essence. So again, that's a connection through to the girdle vessel. And what we can often find is that one side may be slightly tighter than the other side, so our focus is to try to get more evenness between the two sides, or maybe pairs of points might be tighter than other pairs of points. So it's really to support a circulation of energy in this area. We will start by applying some general pressure into the area, and then we'll start working more specifically in the points. So we apply our basic shiatsu principles. We come into connection with ourselves. We center ourselves. So another connection can be to place a hand on the hara, place a hand on our heart, and breathe. And then we gradually start to be aware of the space. Our hara is encircling here, and we come gradually into connection with our partner. Now, I might not necessarily want to start straight away on the sacrum. I can do the connection I previously showed of just coming into connection with the sacrum and the occiput. The girdle vessel very much regulates the flow of energy between the upper and the lower body, and is one of the extraordinary vessels, so it links in with governing vessel. So this can be quite a nice connection to start with. Keeping the principle of mother hand and working hand. We may even just come round to the front and connect the front part of the girdle vessel and be aware of her breathing. So you can see my hara is between my 2 hands. I'm leaning from my center. My shoulders are relaxed. Then I can come around. So to start with, I want to get a feel of what's going on in the sacrum. So it's very important I mould this hand to the shape of her body. I don't want tension in this hand, because that will build tension in the wrist. You can see my fingers are tight, so we're not going to be working like that. Mould this hand and have really the whole hand in contact, but especially the centre point of the hand in contact. So feel the sacrum, relax here, the shoulder. But remember, this hand is a projection from my hara, so I'm leaning my body weight into this hand, and it's lined up with her spine. The other hand can then go at 90 degrees, and then I have to get my position of my hara so I can lean at a 90-degree angle. So I place the hands here, and then I can lean in. So here I can potentially lean in quite firmly. Depending on your height, you might find, actually, I'm a bit smaller, so I probably wouldn't tend to lean like this, because I have less stability in my hara if I lean like that, and I tend to go more into my shoulders. But you might find at some point you want to have the other leg up. So basically get yourself comfortable, and then you can lean in from your hara and making sure it's a 90-degree angle. And already you're beginning to feel how much you can lean in. There's a difference a bit between the left and the right, between the top and the bottom, and you lean. And then you want to try and find these points. So I might just get the sacrum again to help you locate them. I often find it's good to feel the top, the iliac crest, and the top points lie just below that, and the bottom points are lying above the coccyx. So to start with, you need to feel the top of the ilium, and then you feel with the pads of your thumbs, making sure the thumbs are relaxed. And I often just circle a little bit to feel and locate all these points and to just feel the difference. So here you might think, where is my mother hand? Because I'm working with two thumbs. So where is the mother hand? Any thoughts on where the mother hand is? Do you have an idea, Janice? It's the rest of my fingers. So they're giving support to this thumb. So I'd never do anything like this. So maybe Janice could tell us if she feels a difference as I do this and how it was before. Also, yeah?
Well, it's harder when you're using just two thumbs.
And also, can you see in my posture that if I do it like that, I can't really relax my shoulders. So it's for her and it's for me. I need a mother hand, and that's my mother hand. The rest of the hand giving support to the thumbs. And then I can lean in. She's got support here, and it feels quite different, doesn't it, Janice? Yeah. And then I've got that continuity and flow, and I can lean in with my hara. So this isn't the static pressure, but we still want to be doing it. Shiatsu does involve other things than just static pressure. We're still applying the basic principles in whatever we do. And feeling. Actually, Janice has got quite a long sacrum. Different people have different size sacrum. So that's why you have to orientate yourself to the form of her sacrum and find these 4 points. Very occasionally people have 5 points. And actually it's getting a lot tighter as I go down to the bottom. Can you feel the difference, Janice? Yeah. So it's much tighter. So for hers, it's not as tight at the top, and I can feel the form of the points more clearly. But as I go lower, there's a lot more resistance. But I have to be careful not to still go into my shoulders. So yeah, that's there. So I'm going to start with a pair of points that are easier because she's going to accept the pressure in there more. So I put my thumbs, I support, and then I lean, and this time I'm going to give the static pressure. I'm going to give my 90-degree angle. And again, as I stayed there for a while, I might find it's easier to just shift. Yeah, it's better. And I can feel change is happening. How does that feel for you? Yeah. Even here, to give a little bit more, I could go like this. Is that too much or is that okay? Yeah. So I'm still using my hara. Sometimes the heights are a bit awkward, like here, just a bit too much in my shoulders. Here, I have to be quite low down. Yeah, that's better. Then you can see my thumbs are straight. I'm not bending like that. Okay, you can see that. So now I just move down. Already that point has shifted quite a lot. So as I move down, I might need to change my position slightly. That's already a bit tight. Let's try a bit. Is that okay? Why I use two thumbs at the same time here is because it does give me, we're working in a very small space, and it gives me a feeling of what's happening between the left and the right side, and they're all on the same meridian, so it gives a chance of this interaction happening between the points. You see, I can change my position as long as I keep my hands here. Now this one is a little bit tighter on her right side than it is on the left side. So I have to respond to that. So the amount of pressure that I give depends on what I'm feeling. This left side's opening up a little bit more. The right side is still a bit tight. I'm trying to just lean in. Yeah, actually that's beginning to open up quite a lot on the left side. It's still a little bit tighter on the right side. Perpendicular pressure, leaning in. These points are very deep in the body and I can work them quite physically. So I often need to stay quite a while here. They're not points I can work really quickly. Sometimes I find it helpful to shut my eyes, to just tune into the energy. Sometimes it's good to have your eyes open to see how that's affecting the rest of her body. And actually this one needed me to stay for a while because I can gradually feel it shifting. It can be good to just move though, one thumb at a time, even though I've got my mother hand. And I lean and I hold. Oh, that one's already softened quite a lot because the other two released and softened. And now I can feel more circulation in this area. So that feels about the right amount of pressure for her, but sometimes you have to go give quite strong pressure and that can feel too much for the thumb. So you can sometimes use your knuckles or your thumb supported. So just put my knuckle there and my knuckle there. So that is another way that I can work here, just leaning in. So really the rest of my hand is not so clearly mother hand, but I'm still coming from my hara and I have got some support. I'm not just in my knuckle like that. The idea is my shoulders are relaxed and I've got some support with the knuckle. It's quite good. So you can do any combination. You're just trying to even the flow of energy between them. Then a nice way to integrate it all is to use all of the knuckles of the fingers. Sometimes I put my thumb in so they can all line up. So you've got a straight line. They're not all higgledy-piggledy all over the place. A nice straight line. Or you'd have your thumb out. I'll just change my knee as I've been in that position for a while. I lean down and then I just lean. So can you see this is also coming from my hara. I'm moving my hara down. I don't want to move back up with pressure because that might tend to hollow her lower back, and I'm wanting to draw the energy down to release. So I then replace the knuckles, I lean, and then I roll down again. I might not have done the whole area, so I start a bit lower, I lean, and I roll down. Like a rolling pin. So I really lean and roll, but this is all still coming from my heart, just rolling and rolling. Then after that I can place my hands and just pause. Let the body process what I've been doing. Then you can see if I want to touch the head, I can't be here. That's a bit awkward, so I do need to change my position, get my hara more between where I'm working, and then I can come back to this connection here. If Janice is okay coming up more onto the ball, I can just briefly show how that would be. I know she's not quite so comfortable, so that's why we got her down here, but I'll just show you alternative positions. If someone was more comfortable in this kind of position, we could be, this is how it would look, leaning more in this lunging position. Again, it could be either side, so if you swap sides you might find it easier with that hand, or this astride position. So again, same idea with the thumb pressure. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah. I won't do it for the real time. It's just to show you the different positions. And then the knuckling. See, here. And really roll down. With my hara, replace the hands, lean my weight and roll down. And then to finish off, I can make the connection with the head, but in this position, I can a bit more easily make a connection with the abdomen, but I could also make a connection with the feet. And there's some quite important points in the ankles that relate to the governing vessel and the conception vessel. We can hold here. We could hold kidney 1. So again, I'm putting my thumb just in this kidney 1. And my hara's here, so you can see how I lean here. And this is integrating between the upper and the lower body. If you remember, girdle vessel helps the movement between the upper and the lower body, and this can be quite a nice way of bringing in this connection. Are your knees okay, Janice? Not so. She's not so comfortable in this position, so we won't keep her for too long. Because, just to say also, instead of the mother hand here, could have had the mother hand here, and if someone's pregnant, this can be a nice way of connecting with the baby, but of course we have to check that they're comfortable with that, and then we can make this connection here, just below the ankles, or here, to help integrate upper and lower body. I could, of course, come round to the other side and do that, but I won't do that because you won't be able to see what I'm doing. If you need to change position, do. Do you need to change position, or are you okay?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's not so comfortable in that. So not everybody is, so you just have to see. I mean, this all-fours position is a particularly good position for pregnant women in late pregnancy and also during birth. And the other thing that we can do, there's an important point that releases tension from the shoulders, is leaning down, top of the shoulders. With the palms, and then we can put our thumbs in this point. For those of you who know it, Gall Bladder 21, top of the trapezius. Put our thumb here, and we can lean in here. Is that okay? Yeah. You can also come to the hands. Yeah, do change your head from time to time if you need to change the position. And it can be quite nice to do a little bit of a stretch. So tell me if the stretch feels okay. So again, stretching is part of shiatsu, but stretching also must come from the hara. So if you notice, when I stretch, I'm not sat here and then I pull. That wouldn't be very comfortable. I hold her hands. I hold her hands, and then I just lean back with my hara. So it's always hara. Whatever we do, always lean with your hara. Is that okay? It's not too tight. Yeah, lean with your hara. Then you could even do a little bit of forwards and backwards. So that's releasing the pressure, and that's increasing, so pressure stretch in this case. I'm exaggerating it just so you can really see that it comes from my hara. Because often people think when you're doing shiatsu, oh, it must be very hard work, but actually it isn't if you do it from your hara. You just lean back, and then you get a nice stretch. And then there's a point here, some of you may know, large intestine 4. Often I do find crossing hands is better for this because you more easily fall into the point. Whereas if I try and do it without my hands crossed, it doesn't usually work as well. I'll show you. See, then you're sort of having to twist. So you're always trying to avoid this kind of awkward positions with the shoulder. I mean, it depends again a bit on your length of your arms and then you can see I tend to go into a contraction in the thumb joint, which isn't so good. So that's why I tend to prefer this, but those, as long as the basic principles are adhered to, you get the position that's comfortable for you. And then that can be quite nice to just finish off with a point in the centre of the palm of the hand, Heart Protector 8, which is calming and settling. I can calm and settle. And then I gradually ease out of contact with her body, come into connection myself.